Welcome to From the Ashes, the Dungeon Crawl Network podcast all about Ashes of Creation by Intrepid Studios. Bear witness to the rebirth of the MMORPG genre from the ashes of an industry that has left the gamers behind. I'm Aggelos, founder of the Dungeon Crawl Network. We are coming to you live once again from the Mighty Beard Tavern as Mr. Crowjack sinks slowly into the quicksand. And he's muted. Professional.
I was not. I just wanted to stand up. You didn't have to say anything. It is a podcast after all. I could have kept it completely quiet.
I could have
kept it completely quiet.
That is true. That is true.
But because you've adjusted, now there's a gray box above your head that I now have to correct because your camera wasn't set. All right.
Nope.
You
could have kept that. You could have kept that quiet too. Again, this is a podcast, an audio experience. You could have kept all of that quiet and kept going on with the show. But no, you had to make a big deal of it. I just wanted to stand up.
See how it is. I think you should do the rest of the show like that, so just the top of your head, so you look like an Oompa Loompa. Yes. And also, I'm joined by my cool co-host. First one you already heard was Mr. Crowjack, but we also have Alpha Soul.
This should be a fun show, man.
I'm hyped. I'm legit hyped. It's going to be a lot of fun. We do have a fun show planned for you guys tonight. We've got a little bit of news that's utterly awful. No, Playful, sorry. It's about otters. It's a thing. We also are going to talk a little bit about the state of apocalypse, and we're going to bring back, we're bringing back a segment from our other shows that we're now going to introduce into this one, which is our new Tales of Verra section. Similar, if you watch our ESO show, Tales of Tamriel, we do have a Tales of Tamriel section where we get to talk about our gameplay from a non-meta standard. So we don't try to break the fourth wall. It's literally us telling us tales from within the game. Apox doesn't really lend itself to a lot of role play, but it's still a lot of fun to talk about, and you get to live vicariously through us. Whether it be the skilled gameplay of Alpha or Mr. Crowjack, or the rather hysterical, why is he doing that with a potion launcher gameplay of myself. It's a good time, and I think you guys will have a lot of fun with this. All right. Let's go ahead and, I guess, jump right on in to the show. See, and now, there it is. There's my image. I was looking for my image section going, how am I going to bring up an image on the screen if I don't have an image section on stupid OBS? But apparently I did. It was just at the very bottom. So, yeah, that's a problem. All right. First up, we're going to talk about the new thing they released, which is their article, Otterly Playful, where we actually get to see their, I guess, in-game renderings of the Tidebreaker mount.
When do we get this in APOC to replace my horse? As a cosmetic.
I know we'll talk about it in APOC later.
Yeah.
And you know how I prefer more realistic-looking things to super high fantasy?
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your guys' minds. Dawnbreaker's actually growing on me.
Of course it is.
Really?
It's freaking amazing. It's so cool.
Hands freak me out, but the mounts are actually growing on me a little bit. So I don't think I'll be taken out of the game as much as I thought I would with these. And you should definitely go check it out if you want. There'll be a link in the podcast description below. If you're watching us on YouTube, there will be a link at the very bottom that takes you to our website. I don't like loading YouTube with 900 hyperlinks because they're ugly. I hate how you can't hyperlink in YouTube. You just need a raw link.
Yeah.
And it just looks ugly, especially if it's a whole bunch of random links. Yes, I know I could go to like Google Shortener and make a whole bunch, but that's a lot of work, and I'm really not willing to do that. But our main website, you can go and see all this stuff. They do actually have a bunch of lore-related goodness in there, so if you're interested in checking out the Ashes of Creation lore, you can do that. But it's pretty neat. And they actually do have a neat little video that we can actually probably play here in a little bit, showing the Tidebreaker in action. So why do you guys want this in APOC? I know you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay. No other
Yeah,
reason.
let me have it in APOC because hey, they've given me one Kickstarter mount that I could also use in APOC as well as the MMO. Give me the rest. Give me the other the Radiant Steed, all that Kickstarter goody awesomeness. As they're producing it, as they're making models and stuff, give it to us in APOC. Why not?
And they have said that they're going to give us a lot of the the items within Kickstarter, or sorry, within APOC. What I really want to see, I don't care for the mounts too much because I never mount a horse or use a horse, right?
I don't use horses, but I do take them so other people can't. Every time I see one, I'll grab it so other people can't.
Yeah, you got to let them have it. They're so easy to shoot when they're running on their horse.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's true. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will. And actually what I'm going to do here, because for the fun of it, while we're talking about this mount, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen and let people see it. I'm not going to have the music playing because the music's nice, but I'd rather talk about it. The animations for this thing actually do look pretty good.
Yeah.
I like
the animations for all their creatures so far have been very good.
Right. And in the video that's in the background, they're showing the concept art of it originally into its in-game modeling, which looks really neat to see. Rather unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it. I really hope...
This is your favorite mount, and you're riding it into battle every day.
No, because remember, Steven's making me a Stuffertons mount that I'm literally not allowed to change because of how much I hate Stuffertons. Yeah. I hope they race lock mounts. Because this is a Nakua mount. That's why I said it's an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion regardless. Nakua mount. I don't think it would take me out of the immersion aspect if Nakua were on it. Because they're short. They're dwarves. Come on.
Yeah.
If I see like a human or a Tolnar on it, then
simple solution. Go the World of Warcraft route. If you earn reputation with the Nakua and become extremely beloved by them, they'll let you ride their mount. You have to put in the work.
Well, no, and I get the world, and that was actually one of the things that I disliked from World of Warcraft, eventually to the point where when you started seeing like Tauren ride the Mecha Strider or something like that, it just it got silly. Like when you looked at it from a racial perspective, you may have hated the Kodo, but on a Tauren they just looked right.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
But on dead horse, you'd be afraid of it breaking the bones.
Right. And like looking here, you see the human models on these things, especially when running, it's like, oh, you're gonna crush that poor thing.
Yeah.
A Nakua, it would just feel right.
You're assuming those things are not strong enough to carry the human. How dare you assume that they are weak and flimsy like that? What if they are jacked? Everything in this game is jacked. We already know this.
Wow.
Well, I mean, just look at the size of those things. Like, those are, 10 times the size of a normal beaver?
If that. Or
Right,
at least.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're pretty big already.
And I get it's a fantasy world, right? Magic, it's a thing. I get it. Fine. But generally, they scale mounts up and down, and I don't know. I just think from an immersion perspective, if it's a racial mount, it's a racial mount because they've adapted it. Just because, like the racehorses and whatnot, like they have jockeys riding those. Those jockeys are like under 100 pounds. There's no way one of those racehorses is going to win with my 212-pound butt on it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a difference.
Those racehorses are also not Soul Breaker. You know
That's true.
They're not our big, jacked mounts.
And I see Bernie in chat. I can tell you from experience, they're a lot bigger than 10 times a beaver. To be honest, an otter's one thing. If it were a beaver mount, I could understand it carrying a lot. Because, come on, they drag trees around. Like those little beavers.
I would ride a beaver.
I would ride a beaver. Of course you would.
I'd ride a beaver. Hell yeah. Of course, Canadian over here, eh? Yeah, poutine, maple syrup, sorry.
I feel like every time you say that, I need to beep it out because it feels like a dirty word. Just like
being Canadian.
Well, yeah, that too, but yeah.
The sorries.
Yeah.
Every time you had the poutine conversation, I'm like, I feel like this is a really dirty conversation, and yet it's
a
not.
Delicious conversation. It's so tasty. I haven't had poutine in so long.
A skill or slate, anything locked in an MMO always breaks immersion for me. See, I don't get that, because from a lore perspective, why would you be training one of these mounts? But everyone's different, and that's why I said it was an unpopular opinion, but an opinion that I had. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump in. No, we're going to go ahead and jump into the discussion for APOC. But before we do that, I'm actually going to play the hype video, and I will actually have this one playing, because this was a good trailer. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick. Again, there will be a link in the description for the podcast. I do love that
things
video.
to say.
Yeah, no, let's talk about those things here.
First, it's cool because that's in-game graphics and not like a structured cinematic. That's kind of cool. A couple things to notice. One, the logo for Apocalypse has been changed. I didn't realize this until like my second or third time watching this. They have the burning tree, or a logo version of the burning tree, behind Apocalypse. I think that's really cool. I want a PNG of just that burning tree. That's sick.
I can get you that if you want it.
Please, thank you. It's just really cool image.
Hacks.
And two, there's some false advertising in this trailer. The crossbow revealing does not shoot that fast. It is not a repeating crossbow. It is a crossbow. And they shot like 17 bolts in a matter of a few seconds in that trailer, and that is wrong. That is false advertising. You're giving us false expectations on that crossbow. It doesn't shoot that way.
I'm going to share this because I shared this with you guys earlier. Because I could talk about it now. I'm going to share some of the thoughts I had with Steven, because it's not under NDA, but anymore. This was one of the best trailers I've seen out of Intrepid Studios, period.
Yeah. Whoever they got in charge of like putting this together, getting the scenes, putting the music, the sound effects, they did a very good job.
Yeah.
It's true.
And it's very, and I'll get into it. I said it's very indicative of gameplay, because didn't you notice at the end how all the people were teaming?
It's because of those squads.
Bum. Yeah.
That was it meant to be a joke, but hey, whatever. All right.
It's a joke
you're
that
so
hits
funny.
really close to
Our
home.
host is so funny. He's our host. We have to be nice to him. He's so funny.
Alpha legitly laughed at that. He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Was that he's humoring you? It's okay.
No. It's
He's
true,
continuing to humor you.
and it hurts.
It's true. And it hurts.
Yeah.
But as I said in the thing, I said this is it's very hype-inducing and indicative in a cinematic way of the gameplay. Because everything I'd seen there, unlike the MMO trailer that went over like
we shall not mention ever again.
The stuff we saw in this legitly happens.
Minus the crossbow.
Minus the crossbow.
Crossbows don't do that. Fix it. Or give us a repeating crossbow. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind a repeating crossbow if the load time took longer. Like you could fire like 3 shots really quick, boom, 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 and then it took a while.
Or 4 or 5, like some clip size, right? And then you're right.
Yeah. But then you're stuck in it. But
I think it would be OP if you did that.
If you lower the damage,
If you lower the damage, yeah, I think
if it's
it
30
might be
damage a
more.
shot, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know it's the crossbow of revealing, right?
Yeah.
So, honestly, I find that to be a very useless skill. I would rather they changed it to their Q ability being an auto shot.
No, I like the revealing ability. I've had some beautiful kills with the use of that thing. I'll use it often, but when I do, I enjoy it.
I don't always use crossbow of revealing, but when I do, I see everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did think it was a very good trailer, and I was excited. Like that we were talking in the pre-show. Alpha Soul talks about the bow. I wanted to try that miasma shot on the bridge. I'm like, there's been a few times where I sat on the bridge just waiting for someone to show up because I wanted to try it. Let's see. Oh, I see chat. AWAS, I think the Nightfall skill is useless in APOC. You know, we'll talk about that when we... Well, actually, we can talk about that now, because this is the state of APOC.
Yeah.
All right, Nightfall bow.
I genuinely think it is useless, because it's... I think the purpose of the skills is to give you an advantage, right?
It's disorienting.
And it's I mean, it's not that disorienting, and it's just as disorienting to the person firing it as is the person inside it, right? Because the advantage should be to give you some advantage, right? But you don't know where he's going to come out of. You don't know what happens, and really, you just, you just kind of, it's a nothing burger, right?
Would it be better if, like the crossbow of revealing, you could see their silhouette while they're inside there?
It would. It would.
Because, like he said, I've shot it at a tree. The only use for it is to hopefully force people out from cover. If they're behind a tree, but a smart person is like, you know what?
In it.
You can't see me. I can't see you. I'm going to stay behind this tree. But your casual player will panic and run, but your experienced player won't.
Yeah.
But providing the outline, that's a great, nice little compromise.
Yeah.
But that would render the bow revealing kind of useless.
Not really, because the bow of revealing would still be anything building. This would only be while they're in that the circle of darkness that you create.
Yeah.
I actually. Well, I think.
Go ahead.
What if it was a blindness that they shorten the duration fairly dramatically?
I know where you're going
on
with
the
this.
character, not.
Yeah, I think that would be better if it was an area effect that affected blindness for maybe say 5 seconds after either you exit the effect.
I would say no more than 3, but we could argue the time.
You want to go 5 seconds, then you need to land the shot. If you land the skill shot of that ability and you hit the person with it, you deserve a beautiful 5-second blind.
Okay.
What about if it be a blind based on headshot, 5 seconds, chest shot, 3 seconds, next to it, 2 seconds?
That's a lot of skill.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if you hit someone with it, you should have the reward for doing it. But you were saying, like, okay, a lot of times, like, you'll use it. I'll shoot next to someone just to put them in the black circle.
Yeah.
Okay, make it a splash effect. But because it's a splash effect, it's a 1 second. You know, it's like the Jurassic Park guy, Newman, with the, I'll just wipe the stuff out of my eyes. I'm good to go. But, you know, it's a little different. Actually, I know he got eaten at that point. But regardless.
He did. He did.
This like when it first hit him, he's just like, oh yeah, whatever, because it kind of got him a little bit just on the side. Whereas if it hits you directly, you should be, you know, hit for a longer period of time. I think it'd make it more useful. But I do like it's beneficial for multiple things. I've used it when entering the castle without anyone being there. I'll shoot it in the doorway. Because they know I'm there. Like, if I go run in and people are shooting, but I need to get in that castle, I will create a ball of darkness in the doorway so they can't tell where I'm going till I'm out of this thing already.
Okay, that's a good use. Yeah. That's a good use.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant, the big old elephant. The lunge ability. It is the single most biggest high impact change of the game.
Before
we talk about that, because we're going to go right into it.
Okay.
Legitly, though, the combat has improved so much, it's insanely fun. Like, overall, every change they've made so far, I'm actually kind of itching to play right now versus
their
before.
decision. months ago to pull the game off the shelf because of their architecture issues. And so now, like, the decision looks good because the product they're giving us now is so much better than the product they were going to give us before.
Yeah.
So much better.
And there's a couple things in particular. The melee feels good, and it does feel tactical. I actually have people started using block against me.
Yeah. I've used it
I
a
need to
couple
run
times
the
too.
numbers because I know it drains 5 stamina per second, and each swing of weapons is not as much stamina as it was before. You can do a full 5 swings of a weapon and consume what, 30 stamina, 33.
So you're on the right track here. It's not as beneficial.
Yeah,
like,
that's what
it's
I'm trying to, like.
useful. It's useful to stop an attack, but then you don't have much stamina left to retaliate after that, is what I've noticed. And so it's good to kind of reset and yeah.
And shout
Because
out.
it takes.
Oh,
Good.
no, I was gonna say shout out to Danny Phantom TV. If you don't check out his streams, you should. Because
So good.
He's
I'm learning
insanely
watching him.
skilled. He was actually having the same argument. I'm gonna steal his argument. He's like, I don't know if it's good because it does eat stamina, and it's almost like I would rather just deal the damage rather be defensive. You're making the decision of being defensive,
Yeah.
but losing the
So
offensive.
here's the question: 5 stamina per second consumption. 5 swings of a weapon consumes 30ish stamina. How long do those 5 swings take? And do you actually eventually move ahead in stamina if you're blocking or not? Right? If those 5 swings take a couple seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and you're consuming 20, 25, 30 stamina with block, like, where's the win there?
So unfortunately, you don't.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm feeling.
So we tested it. We tested it out, and essentially what happens is if you keep swinging and another person keeps blocking, you both relatively end up with 0 stamina. Right. So it almost nets out. So there's no real purpose towards it. So like I found it far more beneficial rather than blocking, to literally just move out of the way. Just move.
Yep.
Right. Don't.
I've been
I'd
caught
rather
in
take
a
what,
corner already where they body blocked me into a corner, and block did help.
Good.
I
Good,
also
good.
find it useful if you know you have a really bad weapon to trade blows with somebody. If you're sitting there with a blue and they're coming at you and you're like, well, I don't know what they have, blocking could be beneficial rather than trying to out damage someone. Maybe if you had a legendary weapon, it doesn't quite even out because you could do just as much damage.
Yep. Now the chat is bringing to my attention perfect math, where based off of perfect math, based off the numbers I gave you, the blocker would come out 5 stamina ahead. That's assuming the block's activated at the right time and the attack's activated at the right time.
Exactly,
And there's no couple seconds one way or another, right?
Because remember, you also drain stamina the more you sit there blocking, and it also doesn't. I want to double check this, but I'm not quite sure if it triggers once you've been hit immediately.
It starts the moment you start blocking.
The drain
You can
does.
test in the lobby. The drain starts as soon as you start blocking, the drain activates.
No, it's not the drain that I'm talking about. Your ability to block. Because I could have sworn there were a couple times where I blocked too late, and I wasn't able to get up my block and just took hits, basically. So I don't know for sure. I still need to test it out, but it almost seems like it negates once you start hitting.
So how do you make
bit.
blocking beneficial? A stagger on the opponent?
I agree with you on that. The stamina drain's important. Like, there needs to be a reason so people aren't auto blocking.
Yeah.
But I know one thing, that if you blocked heavy attacks in ESO, it would put the person off balance.
Yeah.
I think
Which is-
stamina should cost a lot, almost as much as an attack right off the bat, just 30 right away. But if you block and then does a drain, but if you block one of their attacks or a certain number of their attacks, they get not just one, but it needs to be like, because I feel like with how quick everything moves, if you're
There's a lot of
blocking,
multi-hits going on.
if you block more than 2 hits off, do a knockback, a stun, a disorient, something like that.
I agree. I think you make that change, and you also make the change that if you've been hit, you cannot block for a second.
So you don't automatically block and turtle.
So you can't. So if they start, so if they start a combo, you're not going to be able to get up your block, basically,
Yeah.
right? But if you are able to predict when they start hitting you, you will gain the advantage and get the benefit from having blocked, basically.
So you want to treat it more like a parry than a block. Because
Yes.
there are a lot of games do a parry thing where if you successfully parry an attack, they're staggered. That
Yep.
happens in a lot of other games.
Yep.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And then
Interesting.
open them up, basically, and you can start
Yeah.
your combo. And
Yeah.
then it becomes a...
A little more tactical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the people who have been doing it to me is they'll pop it and they'll just hold it until they're out of stamina.
Yeah.
The
and then I'll
Paladin's
just wail
Might
on
is
them.
the same way. Someone pops Paladin's Might, I'm going the other way and I'm running away. I'll
Right.
fight you in like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's a tactical decision that you make, which makes it fun. But like you said, and that might even be good enough if they block, make the off happen if they block before you land a hit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
that-
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that I like that idea. And if not, then just have block consume stamina. Or what I would like to see is block not completely block attacks, but actually consume stamina and block 90% of an attack. So you still take damage blocking.
Interesting. Okay.
But right now, there's no incentive to block. So doing that would make even less incentive to block.
The block incentive would be hoping you get
The stagger.
the stagger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm actually perfectly okay with it not draining stamina, but it needs to drain on hit. If they hit you, it's draining stamina.
I think they
No.
mentioned wanting to do that before, but they reverted it. I think through their own testing, they decided they didn't like it and reverted it.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that because if you do it, it's basically it's just a standoff.
Yeah.
Right?
Also,
You just sit there, with your
if I
staff.
have a spinny death spear, have you seen the amount of times a red number pops up? That's a lot of impacts. Imagine if it's 5 stamina per impact. You could drain someone's stamina bar. Damn. Could you drain someone's stamina bar faster than you spend it attacking?
Yeah.
If you go that way. Maybe they tweet the numbers. I don't know. All I know is that right now blocking doesn't seem to have a practical, tactical purpose right now, and that needs to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The top players are not seeing it as being super useful.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. And I agree. It can be useful in very few situations, such as when I was body blocked and didn't have a good weapon. All right. Well, there we go. Let's talk about the other big elephant that like you brought up earlier, the super jump.
Don't change it. Don't change it. It
Don't
brings
change it. I
something
love it.
so unique to the Battle Royale genre that no other Battle Royale has, and it's phenomenal.
I love it so much. Yeah.
It's so
I'm
fun.
going to say change it. Here's the reason why.
Hold on. Is this devil advocate or your actual belief?
No, this is my actual belief. This is an actual belief.
Okay.
As a melee player, because I know I suck at ranged, and anyone who's watched me on stream knows I suck at ranged. Lunge is amazing for my, and I've seen the number of kills I get go up exponentially because now I can use lunge to close the distance and actually compete with ranged characters. I don't even pick up a ranged weapon half time. If it's not potion launcher or tome, I go buy bows. Like I don't care. I know I'm not going to hit with it. It's just taking a bar. So I use potion launchers and whatnot, and I stick to melee. This is coming from someone who has done nothing but benefit from lunge.
Yeah.
The problem I have with it is the fact it's tied to stamina. Here's why. Stamina comes back too quickly to the point where when you lunge, you can get a million miles away. And when we get to our Tales of Verra section, I will explain why this is an issue. And you can literally lead people in a merry chase forever. Because by the time, you're so far away, they can use theirs to get close, but then you're both out of stamina for the 5 seconds. And guess what? It's back up to 100. You're off again. Like it's way too easy. Like I don't mind it being there for a disengage. I think that's important. I think being able to use it so much has negated the useful things such as blink boots. Why would I use blink boots now when I could just use...
To give you the fourth
Well,
one?
it does. Yeah. It,
1, 2, 3,
helps.
blink?
It helps,
Blink-
but
Yeah.
it's seriously reduced their effectiveness. Here's what I'm thinking. The reason why I don't like it tied to stamina is because you can't really nerf it like reduce stamina cost, because then that puts melee back into the terrible position it was before.
Yeah.
This is where I think lunge should have its own resource bar, similar to how Guild Wars 2 has a little bar above your health bar for dodges. You could dodge twice in Guild Wars 2. This would have 3. And it, as you use it, each dodge consumes a large section, and then it
Charge it,
slowly comes up again. That would separate it, but you could also then play with the time for the super jump.
Massive problem for that. Okay,
Okay.
watch this. One thing I tested because I was curious about this, talking in my chat while streaming, was can I triple jump into the sky, redeploy, right? And then go down and land on somebody with a full stamina bar and unload on them as a gap closing tactical measure. You can't do that because while you're gliding, your stamina's not regenning. And when you land, your stamina's not regenning. It doesn't start regenning until 4 seconds after you hit the ground. So it's an escape mechanism, but not a gap closing, I landed on you from nowhere and I'm about to destroy you mechanism.
Yeah.
What you're suggesting gives an attacking player the opportunity to lunge, redeploy, and then just drop on someone like a bat out of hell and just unload on them. Could be fun as the attacker, not so much as the attackee.
It's true. I definitely agree, but I actually think it still outweighs the fact that that redeploy tactic, while useful, is a lot harder to hit than the instant, forever lead people on a chase thing.
So about the chase thing,
Okay.
the only time that I've had trouble chasing somebody down is when I didn't have a ranged weapon.
Yes.
Sure.
Every single other time, because you are on the defensive, when you're running away with a triple jump, you're on the defensive.
And your back's to your opponent.
And your back is to your opponent. Exactly.
Sure.
And for the most part, if you are trying to get away, you're not truly shimmying back and forth, right? So for the most part, you're moving in a relatively straight line, especially if I'm chasing you, right? Especially after you've landed, because you do the triple jump, you land, and then you have to keep moving until your stamina goes, and then you triple jump again. If you start moving side to side, I'm just going to naturally catch up to you, right?
Sure.
So you naturally have to keep moving in a line. Whenever I have a ranged weapon, it doesn't take more than 2 or 3 iterations for me to kill you. Because you just shoot him in the back, basically. You quickly switch. You don't scope. You just, no scope it, basically, and you hit them, and you keep going after them until they die, basically. And it's never taken me more than 2 or 3 iterations to chase somebody down. That's what I found from it. If you don't have a weapon, though, you're just SOL. You're going to be chasing somebody halfway across the map because it's just not going to work.
And as a player who realizes, man, I'm in a bad situation here, it's 2v1, I want out of this, being able to escape, to armor up, to heal up, and then to get back into a fight is a nice tactical decision to be able to have.
Right. Which has also caused, the reason why I like it so much as well is because of the fact that now I'm far more aggressive than I was before. Far more aggressive. Because in previous iterations, if you got into a fight, right, even if you won, you were very vulnerable, right? Because those fights were quick, they were brutal, you could take a lot of damage, and you were just very vulnerable at that point, right? So if somebody jumped you, you were pretty much dead. With this new mechanic, it allows you to fight more often and, get yourself to safety so you can get back in there and fighting more quickly. So I found myself fighting far more often. Go ahead.
Which has a ton to do with the changed time to kill. Thank you, Intrepid, for slowing the game down and making time to kill be 3x, 4x what it was before. It was 2 shots you were dead in melee before. 1, 2, you were dropped. Well, that's nice now.
That's because they added variable damage. It's not the hard, this hits 75 every time. It's variable.
But the fact that I'm able to engage, fight, and have enough time to make a decision of, am I going to win this fight? Am I going to lose this fight? Should I leave? I think I'm going to leave. You know what? I am going to leave. There's enough time there to make those decisions where there was not before.
Right. No, and I agree. As we'll get into the tales later, I'm like Alpha. Once upon a time when I was playing, I was very conservative. If I got 1 or 2 kills, that was a good game. Now I'm averaging 3 to 5 every game, period, because I am... especially since they buffed melee and that super jump, which is beneficial for gap closing for me. I'm not scared of the range people anymore. Even though I suck at range, I don't care. I'll get up in your face. And that's how I like to play. And my kills have went up exponentially because of this change. Definitely more the predator versus the prey situation now.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Crojack, you should use your tactic because I've got a couple instances and videos where I did it, where you roll with the ranged weapon and engage somebody in melee. I've beaten about 4 or 5 people just straight up with a ranged weapon and rolling either forward or backwards from them as they start swinging and hitting them, and it really works well. If you can,
because the roll is cheap stamina wise, and the bow costs nothing stamina wise. You always have enough stamina to swap to a melee and escape if you feel like it's necessary.
Yeah,
you can keep fighting, and if you feel like, you know what, this is too hot, I'm out. You've got your melee weapon, you're gone.
Yeah,
it's a great tactic.
Yeah, and you're right. The not being scared to fight is definitely helpful for the fact that I've actually killed people. Been like low in health, someone tries to attack me, I'm like, nope, see you later, bud.
Peace.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not sticking around for this. No, I agree it's useful. I just think it's too overly useful now. And I don't like it being tied to stamina because negatively affecting its regen time affects melee, which now actually feels good for a change.
What's funny is some games I've been in and witnessed watching Big D in his streams is, let's say that you're in the last couple circles and it's getting quite tight and there's 5 or 6 people somehow still alive. What the last couple kills are devolving into are people kind of running around chickens with their heads cut off at half HP with no ability to heal, and they're lunging into the sky and they're going over there and they're hiding on the corner trying to heal before it finds them, and they lunge back into the sky again. It's like grasshoppers in a tiny cage as the cage shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
Yeah.
I should show you a funny video of that.
Yeah.
I gotta show you a funny video of it. That's the video where I had about 14 kills, not because I was, wrecking everyone, because everyone was doing that and they had like no HP. I was one-shotting like
just
5-6 people left and right. Just, I would lunge, one dead, shoot a bow, dead. They were just dropping like crazy. It was funny as hell. But yeah, the dynamic is definitely present.
The lunge is a beautiful addition. Like I said, compared to other BRs, Battle Royales are boring to me if I can't get around the map fast enough, if movement is sluggish. Why PUBG for me was never very interesting. Fortnite was kind of fun when they had their movement abilities. Apex was cool with their zip lines and stuff. But I love being able to get around the map and get to those engagements faster because I want to engage over and over and over and over, right? So having these amazing movement abilities, the horse, though, don't ride a horse if you know what's good for you.
Yeah.
No, sorry, rephrase. Ride a horse.
Yeah, ride a horse.
Ride a horse.
Please.
Horses are amazing.
Please. Old Town Road.
Save an APOC, ride a horse. Do it, please. For those of you that don't know, when you're on the horse, your hitbox grows 5x, and any arrow that hits any part of you or the horse damages you. So ride a horse. Yeah. And speaking about the engagements, I mentioned this in the pre-show. They've almost fixed the bows so you can actually hear combat from further away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost completely fixed it. Intrepid, if you're watching, I have no clue. If I hear a bow shot to my right, I can hear it. That's great. I know there's someone over there. I have no clue if they're around the corner or a mile away.
Yeah.
There's no audio cue to tell me how far away that bow shot is.
Well, and that's because I can tell you how they're doing it. The sound emanates from the point of impact, not the range of the person. So that's why when it doesn't land near you, you hear whew, but when you hear it hit a building next to you, you hear whack.
I'd love it to come from the point of origin, so I know where the enemy is. Like a gunshot.
Yeah,
Are
no.
you sure?
Yes, I am. Because when squads come together, we'll go in. I will shoot next to you.
Yeah.
And then, you can stand next to a building, and I'll have it hit a building.
Yeah,
it's based on the point of impact. I've seen that happen where sometimes it sounds like when people have shot at me, I was, kind of turned, so it went past my head and went, whew, you could hear it whip by you. But then when I turned and I heard it hit the building, you hear the thwack where the thing hits the building, and it's louder based on the point of impact because they got closer. If it's far away, when the impact point's far away, it's not as loud as when it's if someone's almost got a beat on you, you hear it loud because it's landing right next to you, and that's where you hear the big thwack 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 versus.
So, but what I'm looking at more is not the sound when somebody's shooting at you, right? It's more the sound when somebody's shooting at somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Like oftentimes I'll be going around and then I'll hear what sounds like somebody that's
twang.
really close to me, firing at somebody else. That's what it sounds like to me. And I just can't tell how close or far they are from me.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
useful audio information in a game like a battle royale, because it's not a matter of realism. I mean, come on, we're ninja lunging into the sky, pulling a griffin out of absolutely nowhere and gliding off. It's a game of magic. So for functionality,
it's not
for
absolutely
gameplay,
nowhere. It's
come on,
it's a special place.
This is a child-friendly show, Aggelos. So this is about gameplay and functionality. I want to know how far that man wielding the bow is. Just like in other BRs, I know how far that dude wielding that gun is. So I would love that audio information so I can make better decisions in the battle royale.
Let's wrap this section up before we jump into Tales. Overall, let's talk about APOC, where it's currently sitting. Just a real quick, where you think it is, what needs to be improved. Go ahead, Crojack.
It's free. Stop complaining. Actually, one thing that's bugging the crap out of me, little tiny thing, the horse steering. But Alpha Soul doesn't use horses. If you're steering a horse, you have to use the keyboard to turn. I can't turn with my mouse. In what world could I not do mouse steering on my horse in any other game?
Didn't
period?
they have it in a previous test where you were literally doing 180s?
Yeah,
with it?
I was doing 180s with it. So I think they didn't quite have a fix yet. So they just removed mouse control. So what I can do though is turn the camera with the mouse and turn the horse a different direction. That's kind of cool. But no, give me mouse turning on the horse.
Isn't that like how BDO does it? Like you can't control the horse with your mouse. You control the camera.
So yes, and in World of Warcraft, if you right click, you turn the horse. If you left click, you just turn the camera. So you actually have a bit more control and option. Give me something like that.
All right.
It felt weird turning with WASD. I haven't done that in ages. It was very uncomfortable. But overall, like, it's a functioning game. It's a ton of fun to play. The combat is phenomenal. Also, you guys notice when you attack in combat, you can only attack forwards, and you're forced to move forwards.
Yes.
Well, that's how
I
it
would
should
like
be.
to attack to the left or attack to the right. I like to be able to strafe around a target and attack as well.
I was corrected. If you hold right click, you can turn the horse in BDO. So, all right.
Yes, you can. That's normal. I couldn't do that in this game. But I would love to be able to do, for example, if I got the spirit, I've got all the spinning abilities, spinning combo attacks. Let me do that to the left, as opposed to being forced to do it forward. And then turn my mouse to try and keep the dude in front of me.
From a combat perspective, from like a HEMA combat perspective, I don't know very many attacks that make you go sideways. It's always forward motion because that's where your strength is. Remember,
that's
the
true.
human body, when you're moving
I
forward to
lunged
back,
3 times into the sky out of nothing, pull a griffin out of nowhere, and shoot bows of magical energy with no drop off.
and yet this realism is going to hurt you. Side to side's not really because you lose that balance, that strength in your foot placement because you can easily be pushed over.
Yeah.
Almost every even the so-called side slashes is still you moving forward, just forward in relation to where they're standing.
Okay, this is an MMORPG battle royale thing. This is not real life. In every other first-person shooter, I can strafe to the right and shoot. In every MMO, I can strafe to the left and use Mortal Strike or Sinister Strike or whatever.
But not in APOC.
But not in APOC. Not in the hybrid. Nope, I have to go forward.
Always forward. It's
Always
how you
forward.
should live life. Always forward. Yeah, or retreat, like in fencing. See? Alpha
Or
Soul,
retreat. There you go. There you go.
your thoughts?
Sorry, thoughts on balance or what? Or
Just the game.
The state of it.
I think it's in a good state. Like Crojack said, it's free, right? You know, that's the biggest thing. I've got for the most part, I'd say definitely a lot better than the previous iterations. Combat is fun. It is it really is fun to play. Like I'm really happy to come home and just get in a couple games and, you know, continue playing just because it is that much fun.
Yep.
There are things that I would like changed, obviously. There are like some UI issues, like I don't like when you go to the main screen, I can never get rid of the exclamation mark on my armory.
Oh, yeah.
Even no matter how many times I go through, it's a little OCD thing on me.
Mhm.
I don't like the inability to mouse bind to your whole mouse.
Yeah.
Like the 4 and 5 keys, for example.
Yep, they don't work.
Yeah, they don't work. You can't bind to them, and that's one of my, within gaming, that's 2 of my
Yeah.
primary keys that I use, right?
Yeah. My dodge and block for ESO is on 3 or 4 and 5.
That's exactly where it would be. Yeah,
Yep.
my dodge and block
my
would be
spray
there.
and melee for Overwatch are on those
Yeah.
buttons.
Yeah.
Super important, guys.
And I can
Best
tell you,
graphics.
once that happens, my play will go up through the roof, basically.
When I can
once that
add
happens.
block to my thumb down there on that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because blocks like what's block by default? Tab.
Tab.
I changed
Yeah.
that to inventory and blocks like left alt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, left alt is my block too. I
Yeah.
had to change it, and I was like, nah, screw this. But yeah, but then also, I would like them to. They've come a long way, but I would still like them to keep working on balance and counter mechanics specifically. Like for example, the lunge. I think a good also solution is to make some way that you snare them and prevent them from doing a leap or any dodge or movement if you hit them with a certain ability, right?
Still blade, slow.
Still blade, yeah.
I think it should be innate in a character option, like like how ESO has a bash for interrupt.
Yeah.
You know how in World of Warcraft only some AKSs can interrupt. Yeah, later on a lot of people got it, but once upon a time it was warriors and a few other things. ESO has a bash. Any character, regardless of what they are, can bash you with a right click, left click combo.
Got it.
I would like to see that as well, like a way of snaring people regardless of what weapon, because Still Blade, other than that, you don't want to use it. It's like they added block as a default thing once upon a time. It was only the Paladin's might.
Right.
Give us some sort of snare.
Well, it doesn't have to just be that. Like, for example, a natural way to stop them from doing it is hit them with a bone masher, right? Go ahead, try and leap away with it. Another way, silencer. Make the silencer extend from just abilities to abilities as well as
Ooh, that would
dodge,
make that weapon usable for the first time in the existence of that weapon.
right?
It's still pretty usable. I use it a lot. Oh, no, sir. Hey,
I like.
you pop that when someone has an essence weapon, no stamina drain anymore. Oh, no. Silencer?
That sounds too situational. It swings so slow.
Nope. You use silencer to get that off, and then you switch to something like the hammer. You talk to Big D, man. I've watched him wreck people with that.
No, I have. I've seen him do the same thing with the silencer.
He uses silencer a lot.
That guy likes to have like 5 weapons on him at all times.
Yeah.
He's
I
like
can't
2
roll like
bows and then like 3 different weapons, and he'll constantly swap and use the abilities and swap.
To be honest, with the multi-jump, I know it. I don't carry multiple weapon sets or armor sets on me anymore because I can get away and repair. Once upon a time, it was for the quick switch out.
I like having at least one at the very end.
Oh, hey now.
So I can do a quick 50 armor swap to gain 50
Silencer
armor.
also counters the lifesteal. Interesting. I never knew that.
Ooh, I didn't think
That
that.
actually explains something.
Did you die because of
Oh,
that?
I
It
did
works
when
for
I had
all.
the lifesteal.
And blink, arcane boots, staff blast, etc.
Just shuts
Well-
everything down.
Well, here's the question: does it shut it down after you've popped it?
When you pop it, if you
Yeah.
hit them, they cannot use any abilities that's currently equipped. Now, if they weapon swap, they can use that weapon.
Right.
But so if I have arcane boots, I have the staff, I have my
Okay.
blink boots, I have whatever, and I hit with silencer. Anything that is currently equipped when I am hit with silencer, I cannot use.
So that actually explains one of my deaths. I didn't realize, because I thought that if I had, like, he had the silencer, I had the life stealer, and I was going up against him, and I purposely knew that I had like 80 HP, right? And I figured I'll use the life stealer to get my health back, dodge a bit, do it. And he ended up tagging me with it. I ended up dying, and I was like, oh, I guess that just didn't work as well as I thought I did. And I didn't realize that doing that would negate my lifesteal. Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, and they don't have to pop it. Like, that's the best part, is they don't have to pop. Like, I don't have to wait for you to use it. As long as you have it in your hand, I can lock you down. So again,
You might be able to get a bunch of surprise kills with that weapon when your opponent thinks they could use certain abilities to escape or to fight you, like lifesteal, and they can't. Interesting. Might be worth testing.
and an anonymous gifter has give Ashes of Creation a tier 1
That was
sub.
Bob. That was
I know that was Bob.
100% Bob. Why was it anonymous Bob? I know it was you.
Yeah, it totally was.
Yeah.
Totally was. Anyway, so that is pretty cool. My final thoughts, APOC is definitely a lot more fun. In fact, I kind of wish I was playing it right now.
Yeah.
Before it really wasn't. I didn't really care. It's like I got a few matches in, whoop-de-doo, move on. It's fun now.
The other bone that I have to pick with it, should I say, no groups.
Well,
yeah.
Then again, if we're sort of running out of time on it, but yeah, no groups yet, but they're still working on issues because remember the EU servers have been down for, well, I think they just came up today.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been having a lot of server issues. Lag. Oh my goodness, the lag the first day, especially around 5 to 7 o'clock, was terrible.
Was I?
Yeah, they had to restart the servers.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't on at 5 to 7.
I think I
came
people.
on around. Interesting. Okay.
Actually, it was probably earlier now. It was like 3 to 7. Because I was watching people on Twitch because, of course, I was working, so I was living vicariously through everyone else.
Yeah.
And around 3 o'clock, it got bad. And then while I was driving home, I'm looking in our guild chat, and guild's like, yeah, it's terrible. Lag's awful. They've been working on server issues. I mean, the map still doesn't work because then they corrected it so you could use the M key, and then you couldn't see the ring anymore, which by the way...
That was fun.
So
that was really fun.
I was actually going to say...
That was really fun.
That should be a game mode by, like,
'Cause
Battle Royale
honestly-
hardcore mode. Yeah.
I was talking to my chat about it. I'm like, chat, I need to visually do a 360 to figure out where I am in the ring. That was
my
actually not a terrible experience. That was cool.
I would pitch this to them. That was actually surprisingly
Surprise
really
entertaining.
fun. It was really fun to have to figure out
I had
where
to
you
look around and go,
were.
okay, there's the Mage Tower, so now I kind of know where I am. There's Castle, okay, now I know roughly where I am, and I can look at the ring, and I know
No,
roughly
I
how far away it is.
Right.
When the map worked, you could still see where you were on the map, but you didn't know where the circle was. I'm looking up
the
in
map.
I'm looking up in the sky going, all right, where are we at here? I honestly think that it was a more interesting thing because once upon a time, like you can always, when you're playing now, right? You can play and you can look at the timer and go, I got time to search that building. When the map when the map was working, but it wouldn't show you where the ring was, you were literally going, I have no idea where the circle is. Do I move now or do I not? Do I search that building? Do I? Because I don't know. The circle could be halfway across the map.
Yeah.
You know,
Remove the timer that informs you when the circle's moving. Just have an audio cue, the thunder rolls, you know it's moving. Remove that timer, the countdown, get rid of that. The map, get rid of it. The mini map, get rid of it. Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of all that stuff.
Get rid of it, do a hardcore mode, and offer better rewards for doing it in hardcore. Like double experience if you do it in the hardcore BR. I would be on all over that.
That'd be so... Because you have to actually use your your eyes and actually take cues from the world. And that's kind of cool.
Yep, watching the wall.
It also incentivizes you to move towards the center sooner because of the fact that there are some people who are naturally not going to be able to do that. So they're going to be in the center more naturally, and it more feels like I guess you could say like a true survivor's mentality, if you will, rather than everyone hugging the outsides and kind of moving on the inside.
When you know where the circle is, you can do that. You can hug the wall and make your way around.
And take it nice and casual. And...
Well, to a degree. Even if you don't have it, you're not sure where the new circle has spawned, so therefore you don't know which side is fastest as the circle converges.
And that's what I meant in normal mode. You can kind of, okay, I see where the circle is going to be. If I just move north, I could still hug the wall.
Exactly.
This is, even with the countdown time where you go, it's going to move, but I have no idea where I am in relation to the new circle.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I think they're sitting on gold there without even realizing it, like they stumbled on gold, basically.
Yeah, that was so astonishing. Fun. Yeah, it was just like, I was surprised at how immersed I was in the game at that point, removing those graphical user interface elements.
You were no longer just going, where's the loot, and I got time. It's, where's the loot? Oh, look up at the sky.
Yeah.
Okay, where am I?
Where's the storm? And then it became like it was an added element that it
was cool.
So loved.
I definitely thought that was neat. I think they should make that a hardcore mode.
We will take royalties for this concept.
There you go. Seriously, I know Ash's Creation is watching. Hardcore mode, go. That was cool. I'm also warming on their art direction because of the new armor that they have on. Like I don't even wear the cash shop armor because I like the normal armor now. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I mean, I know some people don't like it, but for me, that just tickled my, like, ooh, it's elaborate and fantasy and yet realistic, and I love it. So that's sort of my feelings on it. It's really good. The game's in a really good spot. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited about it. So definitely check that out. We're actually probably going to next show after we get some more gameplay, because I know I don't have it. I want to do a new rundown on the weapons and armors and stuff, because I think there's a lot.
Yeah, we could talk at length about those.
And thank you, Mindless Gamer, for 5 more gift sub. Welcome to the Shield Wall, ladies and gentlemen. Mindless actually sent a whole bunch out when I was streaming before. You were awesome, buddy. But yeah, I actually wanted to play with a few different weapons as well to try to learn where things are. Because
I've done extensive work with it.
Yeah, and I know Alpha's definitely been doing that, so we could talk about that next show. But let's go ahead and move into our new section, which is Tales of Verra. This is where we get to talk about our gameplay within Ashes of Creation and Ashes of Creation Apocalypse in a non-meta format. Just telling you guys, Tales, you can live vicariously through us if you want to. It's a lot of fun. But before we do that, I do actually have something that I want to show. Okay? All right.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let's just put this on.
Sir. Yo, mouse sense is way off right now. Whoa, time to kill. Rip, did you seriously just...
Yes!
My very first ever game in the open access, and you stream snipe me. Listen to him cackle.
I killed him. What does that have to do with anything?
I'm crying.
I'm still so bitch.
Oh,
Yo, Mindless Gamer with the gifted subs. Thank you, Mindless Gamer, with the gifted subs. Hearts in the chat for Mindless Gamer. No hearts in the chat for Ripper.
Told you I got you covered, Hypercore.
No hearts in the chat for Ripper, everybody.
I told you. All right, Tails. Let's talk a little bit about our gameplay in Ashes of
There's
Creation.
my tail right there. One of my best friends on YouTube. I've known him for years. Sitting in my voice chat. I'm playing. I'm live in front of people. About 100 people watching me at that point in time, and he does that.
Can we also explain the fact you had so many installation issues that it took you so long to get in? Because I had been watching chat. Took him so long to get in that's why that moment was even better. That was after like 3 hours of struggle to get in.
I was finally in. I uninstalled the whole thing, deleted every folder and every directory everywhere. And yeah, that's how it went down. Thanks, Rip. That's my tale right there.
Go ahead, Mr. Croja. You got anything else, or is that literally all you did?
One of my favorite wins. Okay. It is an intense fight. It's a 10-kill win. It's a beautiful day. Ranged weapons are fantastic. And I'm in this intense fight. I'm down in the underworld, and the ring's coming in tight. And by the way, did you guys nerf the lights in the underrealm? It is dark down there for some reason. When the ring is tight, it is dark. I had a hard time seeing. I'm not sure if my settings are off. Get jumped, kill the guy. I'm at a fraction of HP. The last guy finds me. I'm lunging away like a madman. I go out, come to the edge of the ring, look up. There's a crack I can get through to get up on the mountaintop on top of the underrealm. Right, yeah. The ring's super tight. I lunge up there. I'm up there. I'm crouched. I got a healing potion. I start chugging it. The enemy comes up at me out of the storm. I think at that point you got to get into the storm to get me. Comes out at me, hits me at the top of his last lunge for 15 damage. I am now at 5 HP. Potion interrupted. He goes right back down into the storm. I'm thinking I'm one shot. The storm actually killed him as he fell down. Fall damage / storm damage. I was at 5 HP. One more lunge, I was dead. He fell, I was dead. And I won. It was fantastic. It was just awesome. And then he gets in my chat and was freaking out. He's like, how much HP did you have? I'm like, I had 5 HP. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Alpha, how about you? What do you got for us? you want me to
Let's
go
see.
first? Because I've been thinking.
Yeah, you go first.
All
You go
right,
first.
I'll go first. I've actually had a handful of wins over the past few days. Actually, no, wins, I should say. I only had like one win, but I had a lot of good games.
handful of wins over the past few days.
Wins in my book in terms of good, funny gameplay type stuff.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
The first day I only had, I think, 3 or 4 games, and it wasn't a whole lot. And what was funny, and this is what made me think about, I had like a second place game, a 7th place, and like a 20th on the day one. The 20th, it was so funny how long it took me to die because I had landed right behind someone else. I like literally, they landed first. I saw them open a chest, pick up like at least a legendary weapon, a bunch of armor, and I hit the ground. They started chasing me. That's where I started doing the ninja jump. Because I had no armor, and I only had the axe. So I'm like, there's no way I'm killing this guy. Let's use the ninja jump. Let's get away, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, he had the eyes of the tiger, and he was coming after me, all right? Like, he's like, I'm not letting this dude go. I kid you not. For about 5 minutes, and I did this on stream, 5 minutes of him chasing me, because I don't think he had a ranged weapon either, or if he did, I think it was just the potion launcher, so, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
5 minutes of 3 jumps from me, boom, boom, boom. 3 jumps from him, boom, boom, boom. Run, run,
Yeah.
run. Hey, but back up again. 3 jumps from me, boom, boom, boom. 3 jumps from him, boom. 5 solid minutes of him chasing me around. And actually, the only reason why I even died is he didn't kill me. At one point, I got so far ahead and up over my cat's in my way. You silly cat. Like I'm trying
That's
to.
why the cat jumped on your keyboard and killed you.
Yeah, no. If it was only that easy. Why are you trying to get on my lap every time I'm streaming? Well, I shouldn't say when I'm streaming because this cat does this all the time. She just wants to be near me, so this isn't uncommon. I'm jumping, and I got ahead of him to the point where he lost line of sight.
Yeah.
I was on that one wooden bridge in that, Lishun Valley or village or whatever it is, the Nakua-looking village or the Orc village, whatever it's supposed to be. I can never tell with that if it's supposed to be like a Renkai village or a Nakua village. I don't know. But you know what, the wooden palisades, everything like that. Well, the bridge has a top layer and a bottom layer.
Yeah, it's a double decker.
Yeah. I ran down, but instead of going forward, I went back. So, back. I heard him run across the bridge, and I just hunkered down as he ran across that bridge. And I could tell he's looking for me. But I waited. And I thought I gave him enough time. But I apparently didn't, because when he finally lost sight of me, he just went to the other side and just stopped and waited. He was facing the different direction, but of course you can hear. And as I came running up, I came up top. Look, there he was. I'm like, crud. What did he do? Turned around with the potion launcher, just started launching.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Turned back around, went back down. He couldn't come after me anymore unless he did a ninja jump, but I don't think he was doing that. The problem was the wall was like right there. Yeah. So it's not like I could have ran back the other direction. We were right up to the edge of the wall. Yeah. So I went down below. I saw the bridge being destroyed, and I'm like, well, what do I do? I looked over at the other side, and while the wall was there was still enough ledge. I'm like, well, I can get on that and climb down because I know there's fall damage. The thing I didn't know that is if the game registers you falling, you can't use the lunge attack anymore to avoid the fall damage. I think there's a brief second of time where you could fall and still use it because I've used it in previous matches like today, but you have to be very quick. There's a very small period of time from when the fall starts to where it triggers you as falling and you can't use your jump anymore. Well, I ran off the edge of the bridge, because it was only a one lunge jump, and I'm like, I can make this. And one lunge, and I started to fall, and I went to use it, and it didn't work, and that's how I died. I fell to my death. At least he didn't get me, but had I known, if I would have just used it while standing on the bridge, I'd have been fine. But I didn't want to use 2 jumps. And it was low enough that I'm like, well, I'll have to use 2 or else I'm still going to get fall damage. So I kind of let myself fall till I was in line, thinking I could go right across. And, it didn't quite work.
I'm wondering, I've never had. So when I was hearing that you tell that story, I've never had a problem going off. Like whenever I go that bridge, but I've always jumped off, and like I'll just, do the dash towards the ground 2 times when I get somewhat close, and I'm fine.
That sounds like it needs testing.
Like
Yeah.
I'm literally Spider-Man here. I'm like going all over the place, and I haven't had the same issue with it. But I could be wrong because I've always jumped, and generally speaking,
Maybe if you're
That's
in a
fine.
jump, it's
Yeah.
okay versus a
Yeah.
fall. Like I don't know where the trigger is either because I've used it a
Yeah.
few times too.
Yeah.
But I've jumped and then used it and it's been okay.
yeah.
And I figured it was a timeline versus a fall or not. But if it triggers a fall, and I guess that the reason why they have that is remember the APOC video where they showed the bow you get pulled off the bridge. They don't want you to
Yeah.
be able to ninja jump to safety.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. Let me try that out. Let me.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think
He's going to try it out right now. He's on his way to try it out as we speak. He's gone.
Didn't we talk about
All
not
right.
beating up the
So
game
you tried
during
it
the-
out. How'd it go?
I fat fingered into the DCN chat. I think it was somebody said it was either Zeb or somebody was like, "Sup." I was like, or whatever.
All good. It's fine. Audio users have no idea what's going on, but it's good.
They do now.
They do now. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to use, but that's where my arguments for the jump thing, where it's like really, you can lead people on a thing forever, and which is nice. I think you should be able to use it, but right now, there's so little risk versus the reward you get. It's like, why wouldn't you use it?
So your situation is odd because his ranged weapon was the potion launcher, and that's hard to nail sometimes, especially
Yeah.
if you're far enough away. Right?
Right.
And you don't have ranged weapons, period, because you're anti-range.
Well, I had no
If
weapons,
Doesn't
and
have a sharp blade. Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
no weapons. Period.
no weapons,
Yeah,
no
of course.
armor.
Of course, that's how the situation turned out. But like Alpha has said, if the chaser has even just a nightfall bow, he's gonna win eventually. It's a matter of time.
It is,
Yeah.
and I mean, some people would be better at it than others, but it's just I feel like it, as you were saying earlier, the crickets jumping around in the final
Yes.
circle.
That's true.
Yes. It's just people almost dead, frantically trying not to die.
Yeah, eventually it hits a point where
That was a really good description of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it
eventual
is.
point is the ring is so tight they're forced to fight each other.
And I see Dank RNG sent me an example, which was pretty cool. I was watching it, him falling off the tower to his death. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you register that fall, I think it is. If you jump, it's a jump. A fall is a fall.
I'm gonna do that.
Ah,
I'm going
okay,
to
gotcha.
jump off the Mage
Yeah.
Tower, and if I see that when I wait towards the end, if I can lunge or not.
Yeah,
After
Okay.
jumping.
If you jump,
Curious.
I think you'll be able to do it. But I don't think I've fallen. Basically.
yeah. I'm gonna do
So-
some testing on how, but that's just from what I first saw. Like, because I have done it where I've jumped and it's been okay.
Yeah.
Where I've off
and there's
the
a second
edge.
use. A second use for that fall death thing is the Mage knockback spell on a bridge. If I
Yeah.
knock you off the bridge, that's a skill move. I don't want you being able to lunge your way to safety. I want you dead for that.
Right, and you should.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I don't know. I think it's neat. So yeah, that was pretty cool. The second time, I didn't win this match, but this comes back to the horse thing. Why we want you to ride horses.
Ride them all.
Ride all the horses, please. Okay.
Yeah.
And
They
some
move so fast, right?
they do. Just find a horse, get on it. Don't ever get off it. You get like a I don't know, a damage buff. Like you could run people over. Just do it. It's good. Anyway.
Save Vera, ride horses.
Yeah. So again, we talked about that jump. While there's certain situations where I think I'd like it changed. If it negatively affects melee, I say leave it the way it is because I've definitely become the hunter at this point rather than the hunted. I see people now, I zoom in. I saw this guy, and I know I'm not good at ranged, so I don't do it. I'll stick with my potion launcher and my tome if I get a chance, because I just need it for that. I like tome and potion launcher for the final circles. We'll get to that. But this particular case, I saw a guy run. I used lunge to get close to him, and I kept lunging because he was pretty far ahead of me, but he didn't see me. He was running away. He got to the top of the hill. He found a horse. I was still a little bit behind him, but that's okay. I ran in, and he's lined up that he's perfectly in front of me. Not like to his side or anything. I am dead set right on his 6. I saw him summon the horse. I pulled out that potion launcher, and I emptied the clip. It was like clunk, 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 like 5 of them. Every single one hit him and blew him. It killed him on the horse.
PSA, if you see somebody wielding the damn potion launcher, don't run straight at them. Don't. Please don't. Stop. I keep killing people that way. Stop it.
Oh, I do it all the time. I'll pull
So
potion
embarrassing.
launcher out. They come charge me. I'm
Just
like,
straight backwards.
right in the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't do it. Don't do it, guys.
It's
Be
fine.
smart.
I love it. And I see Satana in chat. He's like, that was so funny to watch. Yeah, I did it on stream. It was just, he was dead set. I was right on the 6.
Yep.
I unloaded every potion into the rear of that horse. And it was just so funny to see it go boom, boom, boom. And the horse taking damage. And he just fell over dead. That was
It's
probably
funny.
my favorite kill.
I've always enjoyed the grenade launcher in games like Team Fortress and things like that. Being able to land mid-air shots with an arcing grenade type projectile that explodes and hitting those air shots has always been fun for me. So I'm tempted to try and learn how to do that in this game. Understand the projectile speed and the arc speed, and then try and peg people at like close to medium ranges. Be a lot of fun. It does a good chunk of damage when it lands.
Yeah, it was good. The final win that I got, I actually did get a win. I have a screenshot, which is pretty cool.
Good.
And it was, again, I think there's like 3 of us still left. And the way it circles, I was being very cautious. I was always trying to get to the high ground. And it just so happened that near the final circle, I think I won by the second to last circle because it was still a fairly big ring. It wasn't that little bit of one yet. But it had lined up to the point where the 2 other people were fighting down in the valley section. I'm sitting up there on the top with my potion launcher.
Of course you are. Death from above.
I probably shot no less than 15 potion bombs at them to kill them. And that's how I won. And even people in chat were like, wow, that height advantage.
Thrilling. Gripping.
Yeah, no. All that was going through my head is, I have the high ground, Anakin.
Don't underestimate my... Oh my god, if Anakin could have triple jumped in Star Wars, he would never had his arms and legs chopped off. He only had a single jump. If he had the Ashes of Creation patented triple jump, he'd have been fine.
Maybe he was low on stamina. I mean, he had just jumped between the platforms.
Dude, they stood there and had a monologue for what felt like half an hour before that jump. Come on, he got his stamina back, no problem.
Yeah, I see Varkin in chat. He's the one who mentioned the height advantage. He's like, that last guy couldn't figure out how to get up to because it was steep.
Yeah,
and I was up right on the edge. And I didn't seen him do the ninja jump at all, but he couldn't figure out how to get up to me, and I just was launching potions at him. Essentially, I was the World of Warcraft Classic cinematic with the mage on top of the thing just throwing fireballs down.
Fireballs.
Nice.
That was a lot of fun. But
even if he could get to you, though, with a triple jump, you could still just melee him because he'd have no stamina then.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
he had just got out of a fight with someone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was probably low. I had full health, full 100 armor, full health, and I
And a
had
high
legendary weapons. Yeah, even if he had gotten up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of stamina, dead.
Yeah, he'd
That's a
been
good
either
win.
out of stamina or low on stamina. And unless I completely missed every attack I threw at
And
him.
you want to put jumping on a separate resource bar.
I do. I still do. I like it, but I feel like it's too... If it was on a separate resource bar, you then make the choice of when you want to use it, similar to the Guild Wars 2 dodge, without it negatively affecting my melee combat. But then it doesn't... if it comes back slowly like that on that small bar, you can then... Oh, I got enough for one jump. You can decide, do I want to wait for all 3 or do I just want to use one?
Yeah.
It then allows me to use it offensively or defensively, but not both in a short period of time. I also think one thing I've noticed is I now drop at the very... People are now dropping at the very ends of the map, and because it provides so much mobility that people aren't willing to, like, they can know they can get in. And I think it invalidates things like horses. Why would you use a horse when you could just triple jump everywhere?
So, remember how we mentioned the horse has such a massive hitbox?
Yep.
Right? I think they did that previously as a balancing decision. Because before, you didn't have such an amazing lunge ability.
That's true. Yeah.
And the horse was the fastest way to get around the map. So they wanted to balance it. Now that you can lunge so efficiently, the horse doesn't feel as necessary, and they could probably afford to remove the massive hitbox and put it back to the player's hitbox to make the horse a bit more viable.
What they should do is increase the speed of the horse.
Nah.
But still maintain the big old
Still maintain the
broadside
big
bar.
hitbox,
Yep.
but make it so it's definitely faster than triple jumping.
Yeah.
And in that case, give me back mouse and keyboard turning, allowing me to turn 180 on the spot, like some sort of weird possessed demon horse, because it was hilarious fun.
Yeah, and that's definitely the issue right now is why use the horse when the triple jump regens so fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're actively accepting negatives without any positive gain to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the end of the Tales. I like that section. That's always fun.
Oh, I do mind.
Yeah, especially when we have something to play. It's always cool to talk about. So, guys,
No, wait, I didn't do mine.
Yeah, you did. No, you didn't. That's right, you didn't. I started with
got
you,
mine.
and then you didn't know. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, really quickly.
Do it.
First kill, most fun one. The most fun win was a kill where I ended the match where they used Dark Pack to go out into the storm to try and fire, meteors in the middle. Well, I had Dark Pact as well. So I went to the storm, chased her down, and killed her basically in one match.
Nice.
The most pro win that I had was today, actually, where there were 7 people left in the end, and I went down and hunted and killed every single person, and got the win on that one.
That's
and
because,
then
like we described, they were all like partial HP, right?
It was more. No, it was more. I'll show you the video later. It was more that they decided to, like, nobody. I never was in a 2-on-1 situation. It was always 1-on-1, and then I had a split second to go ahead and re-armor up, and then I was basically starting against every person relatively full, and just took them each out. And they were all of the mindset of trying to avoid people until the end, basically. So it was pretty easy.
Can I also highlight at this point in time that I think that triple jump. Anyone notice that the final rings now have like 12 to 15 people in it, whereas previous rounds, final rounds were like 3 or 4 people?
Yeah,
Like, so big, yep.
Well, I mean, I think because of how the combat's done now and how easy it is to get away, as well as to engage and heal up, people are actually living longer. To the point where, like, if you saw someone before, they were pretty much dead, right?
Yeah.
You got the jump on it. So there was a lot of killing done in the far end. Now it's people get away and they're like, I'll get them later. I've just noticed that it's like you're down to like the final ring and you're looking at the ring and you can see the other wall and you're like, how is there 20 people still in this map?
Yeah, sometimes I'll be in a high ground and there's 15 people. I look around the map like, I don't see a single person.
Yeah.
Where are they hiding right now? There's 15 people in this tiny space.
Yep.
That's funny. I said the exact same thing. Yeah, that's a funny observation.
And a parting piece of advice for people just getting into this battle royale, who don't have that attacking mindset, guys, have a ranged weapon. If you even land one shot on an opponent, go and finish the job.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if
Finish
you
it.
and Buddy are just at that point swinging at each other and seeing who's gonna live, the fact
You're
that
gonna
you
win.
dealt that extra 50 damage, you're gonna win. Keep that in mind. If you can deal any damage to anyone at a distance, feel free to go and press your advantage. You have an advantage. Go right ahead and get in there.
Yeah. A lot of
Especially
people
with
make
the
that
light
mistake.
bring
Like, yeah.
Oh, if I get
and-
hit ranged before I get in melee,
Get
I
out.
back off and
Get
heal.
out.
Yeah, you gotta.
Get out. Don't try and fight. Yeah.
If you have the life-bringing axe, don't make the new mistake and panic and activate the ability immediately. Because remember, your armor goes down first, not your
Exactly.
HP. Save it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
the big Danny Phantom TV is in chat. Go follow him if you want to see some pro gameplay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That dude is
5 weapons and a
insane.
potion. What, 4 weapons and a potion? What's your loadout? 5 weapons and a potion? 2 bows?
Yeah.
The dude actually did a thing where he won with the default standing axe.
Oh, wow.
course he did.
Yeah, like, dude is sick. If you want to learn how to
Big
play,
beat for a reason.
watch him. Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely check him out. I was actually
Oh, we're
talking
gonna-
about you earlier,
Yep.
and I'll say it again. It was so funny in his chat. I wish someone had clipped it because he was talking about how the weapons all have their own unique swing until he tried it, and then it's like, oh, wow, I
was like,
guess
oh,
not.
awkward.
It's spears have their own, two-handed weapons have
Yeah.
their own, one-handed have their own, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty cool
I
to see.
think the best thing that I've seen, he's actually been the only person, D Phantom, that I've seen take out a team of teamers in the one-on-one.
Yeah, he can 1v2.
Yeah, I was following this group of teamers, trying to figure out how I was going to. Things led to another, wasn't able to actually take them out, ended up getting killed by someone else. And it was just those two and Phantom, and he ended up killing both of them and winning the match.
That dude.
Beast mode. Can't wait to squat up with that boy. It's gonna be good.
I actually watched one of the matches where he did, where this was pretty neat. He was attacking the guy, and the guy went to go use the barricade, but he, like, instead of, I forget, did he dodge roll? Anyway, he made it so that he ended up behind him. He used Blink to go behind him, so he dropped the wall, and the guy's getting ready to, like, I'll defend from behind the wall, and Danny's like, I'm
Yeah.
behind you, boy, and he started lighting him up from the rear. Like, some really cool moves. Really cool moves. I enjoy watching him play.
Does Blake go through the wall?
Huh?
You should be able to blink. It's a chest height wall. It's not like a. I think you can get blink to the other
I
side
think
of the
he
ball.
jumped up over it, blinked to the used the blink boots to get to the other side, and then the guy
Oh, okay, gotcha.
came down behind the wall
Yeah.
trying to. I'll defend myself, and Danny's like, I'm already behind you.
Also, Big D is just naturally gifted with shooters and games. Like, I got into Apex games with him, and the dude is an aim god. It's not even fair. So he takes those aiming skills, brings them to ashes, and it's just not fair. He's so good. Go watch him. You'll learn some stuff.
Yeah.
We're actually in a Tales section, Danny. So
Yeah,
it's
we were
not
talking
a
about
derail
stories.
at all. So
Yeah.
we just
Now we're telling tales of Danny, the
Yeah.
great Big D.
And that's why, Danny, when we're in the last three circle and there's three of us, I am always chasing you. That
We're
is
coming
why.
after you. We're not letting you get any advantage.
nah. I run into the storm; it'll kill me less.
This will be less painful.
This will be less painful. I'll die by the storm. Yeah, no, totally. I see Danny Phantom in a match. I'm like, well, let's just jump off this bridge right now.
If I ever see a Jello suicide in a match, I'm just gonna follow suit like
Yeah.
a lemming.
Like,
'Cause
nope.
I'll know what's going down.
Yep. Jealous has killed himself with fall damage. Danny's in this
Mr.
match.
Crojack has also killed himself with fall damage.
Indeed. Oof. Yeah, seriously, I've been seeing everyone tunnel vision me towards the end. Well, yeah.
It's a compliment. You're building notoriety. It's a compliment.
It's kind of like that scene from, and I hate it, but the World of Warcraft Pandaria
Yeah.
cinematic, where
Oh,
the orc
yeah,
and the
that's what
human
it's
are
like.
fighting until
Yeah.
the panda
Until the
shows
panda
up.
shows up. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
human hands the
Yeah.
orc the sharpened spear.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, thanks.
Well, because the other option, think of it this way. The other option is, let's say, you go after the other guy, kill the guy. Now you've got, what, half HP, and you've got Danny left?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There should be a rule in the terms of service: no teaming unless Danny's in the final circle. In which case, it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone. Anytime Danny's in the final circle, everyone's just we're all team members now. So good times. All right, Alpha. What else you got?
The last one, it's probably the one where I had the most kills. I had, it was 15 or 16 kills. Now, the reason I had that much was it was mainly off of like one-hit kill wonders. It was that cricket case that you were talking about where people are running around in the last circle, and I just managed to be tagging people left and right as they either tried to heal, they thought that nobody was looking at them, trying to heal, or they're going on their last leg. Anyways, I got up there and I did not win, only because, and it's just, I don't know, I wet the bed against the last person.
Yeah.
And, they hit me with a potion launcher once. I thought I could recover, and then it just went downhill. And I looked at them. I still almost got him because I hit him with the bone masher and managed to kite him around for a bit. So they ended up with 40 HP, but damn, I still lost. Yeah.
That's 16
That
kills. I know watching Danny, you, Crojack, you guys always have that whole lot. I never really do. The highest number of kills I've ever had in a single match was 9.
Yeah.
And that was before.
I remember that.
Yeah, you were
remember
in the
when it
match
happened.
with me at
Yeah,
that point. I've never gotten quite that high again. But I will say like I said, since I've been able to go more predator mode, my with melee, I've been averaging much higher. Like I said, that 5 kills in a game, 3 to 5 kills in a game is where I've been averaging now, which is a lot higher than where I was before.
Also,
Before
keep
it
in
was like
mind,
1 or 2 maybe.
servers are what, 50 people?
This
60
is
people?
true.
Yeah.
16 of 50 or 60 is way more impressive than 16 of 100 people.
Yeah. It's definitely true because at this point in time, even when I'm getting 3 to 5,
Yeah.
that might have been all the people I'd seen the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think I got 6 kills the one, or 6
Here's a
kills the
question.
one match. I literally only seen 6 people. Every person I saw died.
What's the best way to drop for high kill games? Is it you go to that middle town? Is it you wait till the end of the run? Like, where are people dropping right now?
It's I think for the highest for me,
Yeah.
it's either the castle.
Yes,
Dropping at the
Castle's
castle almost always nets about another 6 or 7 people there, or right at the beginning, right off the
The
right
hot
off the
drop,
bat.
the straight
basically.
down hot drop, yeah.
Hot drop. Usually, if you're in a good place like the Elven area or
Can-
something like that, a ton of people are going to drop.
Hey, can I give you a tip? Ride
Okay.
it to the end.
Really?
There's a bunch I've done that a
there's
couple
lot of
AFK
AFKers.
players, yeah, they get dropped
No,
right
that's
at the
just
end.
free. You're at the bottom with a bow looking up going,
I thought about that. I was trying to think to myself, where would the AFKers drop?
They drop at the ride it to the end. I actually did that the last match where before I started my call, I was in a game waiting for my pastor to call me, and he called, and I just left the thing real quick, and I said, "Hold on, I'll be right back." I had looked, I forgot the game even started, and there I am sitting on the end of the map with like 6 other people AFK around me. I'm like, this is where I would go. Like, you'll get AFK players if you ride it to the end.
Yeah.
I don't really know how impressive those numbers would be at that point, but still, you can get kills if you wait till
see,
the end.
what you do is you ride to the end. But one other person also did that strategy. And the two of you have an epic duel, and the winner gets the right of killing the other 5 people.
Yeah. No, I've seen people do that. But it was funny. Like, I'm hitting the ground, and I'm still there. I'm like, wow, I guess everyone who's here is legitly AFK. But again,
Yeah.
I was on my call, so I just let the storm eat me. So I got the win, or the game for the quest. But yeah, I wasn't going to kill the AFK players. But if you really want AFK players, ride it to the end. And then just drop. Like, they'll drop slowly. Their guys will just...
Yep.
You can zoom down, pick up stuff, and just wait for them to hit, and then
And
pick them
just
off.
wait.
Yeah. All right. Guys, I think that's the end of our show.
All right.
This was definitely probably one of the more fun shows we've had in a while.
We had something to talk about.
Yeah.
Live stream, dev live stream tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Yes, you're right. It is
That's
tomorrow.
right. Dev's live stream. Yeah.
I forgot almost all the way about it. I mean, they're probably going to talk about APOC.
Yeah.
I know. I'm also going to say this because I get this question a lot. When is Castle Siege going to come? I'm going to preface this by saying we do not know. We have no inside knowledge. This is all personal, whatever, my own personal thoughts. I think you've got a minimum of 12 weeks. Reason why I say that is because of the APOC season. Even if they were ready, which I don't think they are, because there's also been things that saying that Alpha 1 testers, all of you $500 and up people, are supposed to have access to any testing a month ahead of time. That was what they said. I can tell you right now, none of us have it. You know, and I'm sure at that point, because of their open thing, they wouldn't have NDA or whatever the case. But if we're supposed to have it at least a month ahead of time, and we don't, at this point in time, why would they drop Castle Siege before that?
Yeah.
You know, so even if tomorrow they said we can test Castle Siege, they'd probably test it with the Alpha 1 backers and PI and internal guys first, which would probably be under NDA. But then Alpha 1 testers would get it for a month. That would still only put us maybe 3 or 4 weeks out from the end of the season. Why would you drop Castle Siege while the APOC season? Earliest you're going to see Castle Siege is at least 12 weeks from now. My personal thought, because it would be the start of season 2 of APOC that you would get Castle Siege. That's my thoughts.
Cool.
And that question has been brought up to me every time. Like, are they bringing Castle Siege? It's still not ready. I can tell you that now. It's not ready. But why would you drop it mid-season? Let APOC run through. Make sure it's still good. I mean, we still haven't hit 100 people matches yet consistently, so you can already see they're still working on it. It's much better than it was, but there's still bugs. 12 weeks of this, and possibly season 2 we'll see Castle Siege.
Makes sense.
Earliest.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so if you're expecting a date for Castle Siege tomorrow, I don't think so. All right. Anyway, I want to thank my awesome co-host. First up, we got Alpha Soul. Check out all of his videos. He's been doing a lot more videos on Ashes of Creation now that we've got some more news stuff over at _alpha_soul on YouTube. Check all of those out. And, of course, check out Mr. Crowjack at everywhere Mr. Crowjack. He streams every day, and hopefully soon will be making more content for MMOs on his channels.
I need to get on that.
Yeah, I know.
I need to get on that.
Well, you have things you can now talk about again, so.
It's true.
Yeah, between WoW Classic and APOC if you want to do stuff.
Hey, that WoW Classic thing I haven't touched. Yeah.
I haven't touched WoW
Life.
Classic in like 2
Life.
days.
It feels bad. 2 days
Neither.
feels like a lifetime.
Yeah.
You're 60.
Oh yeah, I don't have to anymore.
You're in a rush.
I'm just waiting for everyone to catch up. and
I'm
then-
only like 27 still, so
Yeah, GM, let's go.
gotta keep doing all that
Admin.
administrative work. Yeah, kind of sucks. But anyway, check out those guys. They're awesome. If you want to follow everything else we do, you can check us out, dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can check out our Patreon program, patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork, if you want to help support the show. You can also do that by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words. Sometimes they matter. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of From the Ashes, and we'll see you next time. See you later.